dancing under gilded domes, 10,000 worlds reporting to the throne. The silver fountains spin their endless threads. No one looks up to see the fading reds. The architects are polishing the stone. They claim the dynasty is etched in bone. But numbers do not care for royal blood. The math is rising like a quiet flood. Listen close against the temple wall. The fractures are too small to name. The calculation tracks the total fall and strips away the ancient claim. Count the days, watch the imperial marble split wide open. Count the days, every equation has already spoken. The beads are sliding down the wire, a cold conclusion to the fire. The empire sleeps while the planet sways. Count the days. They build monuments to 1,000 years. They wash the courtyard to erase the fears. The charts are hidden in a dusty room where one man measures out the coming doom. A single column in a ledger book is all the certainty the future took. The grand design is running out of time. The bells are ringing an unwritten chime. The abacus is never wrong. It does not sing a courtly song. It speaks in sums and silent fractions. The consequence of hollow actions. The throne is smooth, the crowns are bright, but total darkness owns the night. The sum of us is down to zero. No room for kings, no room for has already spoken. The beads are sliding down the wire, a cold conclusion to the fire. The empire sleeps while the planet sways. Count the days. The dancers leave the floor. The guards have locked the door. The ink is dry upon the page. The opening of a longer age. 10,000 years reduced to one. The calculation has begun. Count the days. Count the days. desk is buried under ledger sheets, far from the crowded and singing streets. I track the cargo ships that never come. I record deficits that leave me numb. The tax collections from the outer zone, drops of water on a scorching throne. The grand ministries are fast asleep, while every cellar floor begins to weep. I sweep the dust up from the palace floor, but it returns beneath the iron door. The masters tell us everything is fine. They pour the water, but they swear it's wine. The stone is splitting at the base. Look past the bright polished face. The monument is ready to decline, a slow unraveling of the design. We live inside a giant dying space. Stone is splitting at the base. The subway shudder underneath the square. A sudden chill is blowing through the air. The main computers miss a single beat, then hum along to cover the deceit. They build the columns taller every spring to shield the vision of the failing king. But deep beneath the grand imperial view, the foundation is breaking clean in two. No alarm bells ring to start the day. It just erodes in increments away. A file misplaced, a signal growing weak, a drop of rust along the silver streak. We patch the mortar where the plaster fell and keep the secrets that we cannot tell. But no amount of pain can hide the fault when salt is turning back into the salt. They wouldn't listen to the math you found. They called your science dangerous aground. The great monitors are glowing dim and cold as lines of execution take their hold. They plan to push you to the system's edge, a lonely life upon a frozen ledge. The black screens flash across the empty room, a message signaling a calculated doom. They wanna put the truth inside a cage and tear your ledger from the current age. They fear the chart you drew because the numbers are entirely true. They send you out beyond the farthest sun to watch the ending that has just begun. The terminal is silent now and cold. They fear the chart you drew. You walk the corridor under heavy guard. The concrete runway looks extremely hard. The lords are laughing in the banquet hall. They think their empire will never fall. But you have seen the final digital line, the slow decay of their supreme design. They hand you orders for a distant world where early banners are already furled. Let them lock the massive metal gate. They cannot change the algebraic fate. The signals flicker as the ship departs, a code exclusion from their royal charts. No words are spoken on the final deck. The inner worlds are just a tiny speck. The line is severed and the power fails as darkness fills the secondary cells. Because the numbers are entirely true. They send you out beyond the farthest sun to watch the ending that has just begun. The terminal is silent now and cold. They fear the chart you drew. Ships unloaded on a barren plain beneath a sky that never carries rain. We carried crates of ink and heavy lead to keep the words of nations long since dead. The solar wind is blowing cold and shrill across the hollows of a frozen hill. But down below the frozen crust of stone, we forge a shelter we can call our own. The stands for 1,000 forgotten things. The children study in the lower bay to read the lexicons of yesterday. Outside the concrete doors, the planets fade. The central grid is falling into shade. But in the silence of this underground, the sanctuary has been safely found. The vault is deep, the vault is safe and strong, to hold the ledger where our lives belong. It does not matter if the empire bleeds, we are the guardians of the silent seeds. Let every star in the main cluster die. We have a truth they cannot sell or buy. A generation disappears like smoke beneath the pressure of the master's yoke. Protect the light, protect the single spark. The centuries will turn to sand and stone, while we remain out on the edge alone. The world outside is ready to ignite. Build the walls thick enough for the night. The heavy door is shut, the long connection cut. The metal vault is sealed, the final plan revealed. Let the dark age come, we count the final sum. Build the walls, build the power line begins to rust. The royal palaces are turning into dust. I sit inside the vault and count the score. As structural decay breaks down the door. The shipping lanes are empty and completely dead. The ledger books are burning bright and red. They wouldn't listen to the warning signs. Now ruin moves along the geometric lines. The old machinery is grinding to a halt. We watch the total breakdown of the vault. The math remains immutable and entirely clean, while darkness settles on the grand machine. It falls exactly as predicted. The penalty cannot be contradicted. The wires are snapping in the central frame. No force on earth can keep the spark aflame. The abacus is shifting into place. A cold finality across the human race. The breakdown of the system is restricted. It falls exactly as predicted. The outer provinces have cut the wire. They light the factories with open fire. The old mechanics have forgot the way to mend the tools of yesterday. We track the charts until the screen goes blank. A sinking value in the broken bank. The calculation remains completely clear. The dark century, it finally drawing near. No space battles will save the crown. The quiet numbers bring the empire down. The beads of iron slide across the rod, more certain than the promise of a god. The structural foundation splits apart, a cold conclusion to the royal chart. The trade agreements disintegrate to stone and leave each planet utterly alone. It falls exactly as predicted. The penalty cannot be contradicted. The wires are snapping in the central frame. No force on earth can keep the spark aflame. The abacus is shifting into place. A cold finality across the human race. The breakdown of the system is restricted. It falls exactly as predicted. The sums match up tonight. The world is losing light. The formula is completely done. The dark era has won the iron slides. The calculation guides. It falls. It falls. The central beacons flicker one by one. A slow blackout across a dying sun. The messages are stranded in the air. Unanswered questions from a world out there. The operator handles empty glass and watches lines of calculation pass. The outer circuits drop from the screen. A quiet closing of the grand machine. The sector grid is falling dark tonight. A cold erasure of the copper light. The wires are dead across the starry plain, and nothing can restore the link again. Science travels fast. vanish from the grid to keep the secrets that the master hid. The trade fleets wander aimless in the dark without a signal or a guiding spark. We dial the numbers of the capital square, but only find an empty current there. The system breaks apart in total peace, a cold and mathematically sound decrease. No scream is carried through the solar cold. The isolation takes a heavy hold. A planet stands alone inside the dark, deprived of fuel and the imperial spark. The master monitors are entirely blind to all the fragments left so far behind. We sit before the terminal and wait, but the code cannot reverse the system fate. Connection isn't there anymore. The dark expands across the starry sight. Silence travels faster than light. The monitor goes black, no signal coming back. The wire is cold and dead, no further sentence said. Each province lives alone upon a separate throne. The light decays, the terminal stays. They promise safety from the coming moth. The technicians dress in flowing silver robes to preach submission to the outer globes. They turn the maintenance manual to a prayer and chant the codes into the smoky air. The simple neighbors gather at the gate. They think the circuit boards determine fate. The incense rises round the cooling fan, a clever construct from a clever man. They hide the science in a sacred room and use the generator to dictate the doom. Bow to the machine, the holy code that keeps the plasma clean. Keep your fingers on the copper wire and feed the altar with electric fire. The vault is locked behind a wall of praise, a clever prison for the coming days. Forget the purpose of the grand design. Bow down before the digital shrine. The generators to the border towns. They wear the wires like celestial crowns. They tell the people if the faith should break, The engines sleep and all the world will shake. A simple fuse becomes a holy sign, a calculated border safety line. The archive masters smile behind the screen. They rule the province through an old machine.
It is a trap designed to keep the peace, to make the neighbor nations beg lease. They trade their freedom for a steady spark, to shield their houses from the growing dark.
The ancient calculations are a rod that transforms physics to a vengeful god. The preservation is a heavy chain that builds empire out of human pain. The holy code that keeps the plasma clean. Keep your fingers on the copper wire and feed the altar with electric fire. The vault is locked behind the wall of praise, a clever prison for the coming days. Forget the purpose of the grand design. Bow down before the digital shrine. Engine rules by fear.
The vault is fully sealed.
The new decree revealed. Bow to the machine. Bow to the machine. The royal gardens have entirely gone wild. A weed climbs up the statue of the child. The grand administration halls are bare. An empty silence settles everywhere. The golden roofs are peeling in the rain, and no one comes to fix the broken drain. The center of the galaxy is still. An icy wind comes blowing off the hill. A single page is blowing down the street, where once 10 million marched with busy feet. The documents are turning gray and old, the ultimate finality foretold. The grass grows over the throne. The kingdom is reduced to sand and stone. The ancient power structure turns to ash, a slow descent without a single crash. The dynasties have run their historic race and left behind an empty, dusty space. leave their monuments alone. The grass grows over the throne. The metal towers lean against the sky. The power grids are completely dry. A scavenger is walking through the court to find a piece of copper to transport. The grand records are buried in the floor, behind a rusted and unyielding door. The world that ruled 1,000 separate suns is now a playground where the stray dog runs. It is the quiet ending of the dream, the final breakdown of the grand regime. No grand explosions cleared the capital square, just slow neglect and cold unmoving air. The dust collects upon the marble stairs and strips the value from the royal prayers. The ledger closes on the central world, while early winter banners are unfurled. Space. The masters leave their monuments alone. The grass grows over the throne. The gray ash starts to fall. It covers up the wall. The palace turns to dust. The iron turns to rust. The capital is dead. The final sentence read, the grass grows, the kingdom goes. Spoke these words. The copper door unlocks with heavy groans. A cold machine awakens in the stones. The air is damp inside the ancient room where generations waited for the doom. A pale projector beam divides the space and shows the contours of a dead man's face. He sits inside his glass and steel alcove to name the very roads on which we drove. The projection hums against the concrete floor, a voice recorded centuries before. He reads our history from a dusty page and charts the progress of our current age. I spoke these words before you breathed, before the final sword was sheathed. I knew the path your desperate choices took. It is already written in the book. The vault reveals the predetermined grid, the total outcome that the past hid. Your world is moving through a words to guide your days. We stand in silence round the flickering blue to find the ancient prophecies are true. He does not look at us or speak our names. He only outlines mathematical claims. He knew the trade alliance would collapse. He drew the borders on our current maps. The dead mathematician takes the lead to dictate every action we will need. He died 100 years ago tonight, but tells us how to navigate the plight. A master architect of human trends, who chose our enemies and chose our friends. We are the actors in a massive play, who follow stage directions of yesterday. The sanctuary is a prison too, where every single deed is old and through. I spoke these words before you breathed, before the final sword was sheathed. I knew the path your desperate choices took. It is already written in the book. The vault reveals the predetermined grid, the total outcome that the past hid. Your world is moving through a calculated phase. I spoke these words to guide your day. The big projection dies before our staring eyes. The ancient speaker goes, the metal portal close. The future is a line of mathematical design. The dead man spoke. The trap broke. Current that will always prevail. We think our passions shape the common land, but we are grains of multiplying sand. The map was drawn before we arrived. The destination has already survived. The crowd is moving down the narrow track without a choice to turn their footsteps back. The cold progression takes a sudden hold and frames the story that has just been told. We only march where the grid allows. No single crown and no rebellious vows. The beads of iron slide along the wire to extinguish every solitary fire. The math has built a pattern made of bone, a structure greater than the royal throne. The individual disappears from view. We only march where the grid allows. A leader rises up to shout a name. He thinks his courage can reverse the game, but he's a ripple on a dark deep sea, a minor friction in the decree. The forces of decay are far too great to turn the steering of the system fate. The grand design is built on total sums that do not falter when the soldier comes. The abacus determines where we stand. It marks the borders of the dying land. No human will can break the iron string or save the palace of the falling king. We are the numbers in a giant ledger book, a secondary path the future took. Surrender to the rhythm of the trend that carries everything toward the Archive is now a fortress square. A cold directive fills the morning air. We lock the books to keep the knowledge pure, but made a prison that will long endure. The early shelter has a deeper floor, where soldiers stand beside the iron door. The grand ideals of the founding sage are tools of power in the current age. We polished up the ancient stone to build a wall, to keep the outer nations in our thrall. The blueprint for salvation turns to ice and fixes every province in a voice. We save the world to rule the grave, the very structure that we swore to save is now an iron shell around the heart, a cold perversion of the early chart. The vault is just a king upon a throne. We replace bosses must bow and scrape. There is no pathway to a clean escape. We choose their leaders and we dictate terms, with calculations that the vault confirms. The grand encyclopedia is a chain to force obedience to our total reign. The lone mathematician would be proud. We rule the fragments from a silver shroud. The Dark Age came exactly as he said, but tyranny is matching it instead. The preservation morphs into control, a secondary bargain for the soul. No space battles could match the silent trap. We drew around the planetary map. The legacy is heavy as a crown that crushes every other city down. We save the world to rule the grave, the very structure that we swore to save is now an iron shell around the heart, a cold perversion of the early chart. The vault is just a king upon a throne. We replace their imperial marble with our own. The light has faded from the deep enclave. We save the world to rule the grave. The shell is locked tonight. No room for secondary light. The fortress dominates the plain, a monument's construction built on pain. The calculation leaves us in the cold, the final human story told. We rule the grave. We rule the grave.
The Iron Fortress thinks it stands alone, supreme commander of the broken zone. They guard the first vault with a jealous eye and rule the ground beneath the freezing sky. But deep within the calculations old, another secret story was foretold. A second archive hidden from the light to guide the species through the total night. Beyond the grasp of militarized decrees, a quiet message travels on the breeze. The masters do not see the deeper track that brings the human spirit slowly back. There is another ledger, a sanctuary far beyond the measure, a hidden network working in the shade to mend the fractures that the rulers made. The iron shell will one day fall away to face the dawning of a different day. A secret purpose that the prophet freed. Listen to the whispers of the second seed. They do not build with massive concrete walls or stand as guards inside imperial halls. They map the currents of the human mind to heal the injuries we left behind. No matter weapons generate their power, they simply wait for the predicted hour, when central tyranny consumes its fuel and ends the era of the Iron Rule. The first foundation was a necessary mask to shield the execution of the task, a physical distraction for the crowd, while silent force is calculated proud. The math is patient and the math is deep. It watches over us while rulers sleep. A secondary plan begins to bloom to lead civilization past the doom. The second vault is there, a promise in